Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. It's always been super sexy in entrepreneurship to talk about how much you want to scale or how you've scaled. And I've talked about this on prior episodes, but it's worth kind of reiterating that scaling and growing are different. Scaling and, operational efficiency is different. And it's really important to understand too, when not to scale, because everybody is kind of hyped up in this, like, I'm trying to scale. And I want everyone to kind of just take a second, take a breath and realize, like, do you want to scale? And I'm going to actually go through like when not to scale and why we should stop trying to scale everything in our businesses. So this is actually really important because when it comes to scaling a business, what we're really talking about is doing the things that we can do, which is automating processes. We're trying to eliminate effort while increasing or maintaining output. That's how I look at scaling, is like eliminating the effort, but keeping the output or increasing the output. And making things more scalable just means that more people could implement this without you. More can get done without your effort, because scalability is really about simplification. I've talked about this so many times. And here's the thing though. People are trying to scale too soon, and people are trying to scale the aspects of their business that actually are going to be hurt by attempting to scale them. So here are a couple of things that I want you to consider. When it comes to scalability, here's the thing. Focus first on operational internal processes where somebody could plug in and somebody could understand your SOPs, how the machine works, how the sausage is made, how you guys do what you do in that special way internally, nothing customer facing. I would not try to scale your customer intake process, your marketing, or anything related to that sort of customer acquisition until later. I'm going to explain why. So if you're building a business online, especially, and you're trying to quote unquote scale, which means, again, growing revenue without growing the associated costs with it, growing, output, increasing your sales, increasing, the generation of what you do without increasing effort. Okay. So all of that is comprised in scaling. And what I'm going to tell you is that some of the most magical growth moments in your business, including mine, I'm telling you this from experience, some of the most magical growth moments are happening in the unscalable. I'll explain. Some of the biggest opportunities I've gotten, some of the biggest clients I've gotten, some of the best relationships I've built have not been when I finally mastered that process to automate my messages and automate how people are receiving, texts from me and automate this, that, and the other thing. Yes, I have been able to utilize a lot of these tools, but the most magical things are happening when I literally DM people. I send a voice note to a new follower. I am able to show up and I'm able to create my own content, write my own emails for a while, write, the stuff that is really authentic to you from your soul, from your heart. Because I'm telling you, doing more faster isn't always the answer. When you're trying to build trust with your ideal client, the best thing you can do is invest the time to say yes more often to the unscalable things. Do what is not scalable until it's not scalable. I had implemented this tool called Community. Many of you have heard of it, where you can text message with, your audience. And if you were part of that journey with me when I used that, you were receiving text messages from me. Now, I pre-scheduled many of them. right? Some of them were in real time, some of them were pre-scheduled. Regardless, I wrote them. I wrote them all. And many of them were just me on video or audio or sending messages. If you texted me and you told me about your business, that was me talking to you. Like, there was no virtual assistant. There was no other person. There was no AI tool. I mean, this was pre AI, but this is, it was one of the biggest ways I built relationships because we were just texting. Like, it was just two people texting each other in real time. And it was worth the time because I was forming relationships with people. And many of you still talk to me today. Like, some of you are in CFO On Demand and we're slacking, every week. And that's really important in your business. If you're a service-based business, if you're trying to generate trust right now with your audience, so many people are going the route of automating, doing things with AI, creating efficiency. And here's what's going to happen if it hasn't happened already, and I can kind of feel that it has, is that a lot of people are going to be using AI to create efficiency for themselves. People are doing this with themselves in mind, their business's process in mind, so that they can replicate this process time and time again and play a numbers game. But for some of us, it's not a numbers game because we're more interested in building real relationships with a few people versus having, a million surface level followers. I would rather have 5 people who contact me every single week who are, ready to buy my thing than 100 who simply follow me on Instagram. That's just how it is. Because if your business is somewhat like mine, then you're really valuing those relationships over the follower count or the superficial vanity metrics because it doesn't really matter. It's not going to drive revenue. And when we're trying to scale and we're trying to create these efficiencies and we're trying to automate everything, we're trying to do too many things at once. And I'm talking to myself here sometimes. We're trying to do too many things and trying to reach too many people when we're not really just focused on the stuff that's working. And we're spending too much time trying to do too many things. And when it comes to scaling, it really is about figuring out what truly works and having a process to do that. So even if your process is, and this happens for us too, the process very well might be that if somebody has dropped off of the flow or somebody has, joined CFO On Demand but hasn't hopped into our Slack channel yet, that, they're going to get a bunch of automated reminders, yes. But at a certain point, they're going to get a phone call or a text or an email from me with a voice note asking them, hey, I saw that you joined. What's going on? And there has to be some degree of personalization in some of this stuff because you always want to feel connected to your clients, and people just really are craving that human connection. So when you're thinking about scaling, see if you can do it with a little bit of what exactly your customer's looking for. It's not always about scaling for the sake of your operations and making it easier for you. Sometimes you make things easier for you at the expense of its actual effectiveness. So what's better? A really easy system to generate a lot of emails to your ideal clients, that go out 4 times a week, or being able to generate and write your own email once a month from the heart on what's going on in your life in real time and being able to actually connect with your audience in a real way. I actually felt this recently because I have switched over to writing all of my emails myself. I previously used a lot of different tools and I've used different things. And yes, I reviewed every single email and I wrote a lot of them, but I was getting a lot of help because I wanted to generate more content. And what I realized was over time that it wasn't really moving the needle. Whether I put out 4 emails a week or 3 or 2, it didn't really matter. So what I ended up doing was we got really clear on what are the reasons we should be reaching out to y'all? Like, when should we be contacting you? How should we be contacting you? What do you care about? What do you actually want to know? And do you really want to read these long ass emails with 4 different sections and links and whatever? No, just gonna send you a quick note, letting you know I'm thinking of you. And here's what you should be focused on this month. If you're getting my emails, you're seeing that, we're talking about the weekly or the monthly things that you should be thinking about in your business. As your CFO, here's what I'm looking out for you on. But I write every single one of those by hand. I get very little help. And recently I switched over to that. It doesn't take me much time because it's me, it's my voice, and they're short. But I started really writing these myself. And this was the first time nearly every email we've been sending, you guys are replying, starting a conversation. You guys are really replying to these. I have never seen this type of behavior before where people are emailing back what is, I guess, by definition, a marketing email. Like you're emailing me back and I love it. I absolutely love it. I would trade all the efficiencies in the world for that type of response. It's so true. So I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself where you can simplify things in your business, but not just from an elimination standpoint or automating for yourself, but maybe eliminating certain things that aren't serving you instead of just finding ways to do them faster or better. You could actually just eliminate the things that aren't working. You could simplify things so that you can do the unscalable things, like reach out with a voice note to new followers, or be able to actually develop a custom response to emails with a Loom video. Be able to, let's just say you're a web designer, go to somebody's website, go through and do a Loom of everything that you have observed in their website, or being able to take a deeper dive into somebody's financials as an accountant and actually do a Loom video or do a proposal that examines all the stuff because you've taken the time to actually review it. And it's not the fastest way to do things or the things that you can do at scale. But again, unless you're selling something at scale, unless you're selling something that the entire country is going to buy and that you have an unlimited ability to sell to clients, you don't have to scale it. I think a lot of people are taking advice from people who are selling these digital products or these programs or anything like that to the masses, and then trying to apply that into boutique service operations. And I'm telling you, you can take what you want, leave what you don't. And you can take from it some of the strategies, but never lose that element of you. If you're still in your business and you're trying to perform your function and you're trying to grow your business with you at the helm and you as the personal brand, you can't lose that touch, because you have to figure out what works, what makes it special, what makes it tick. And then, only then can you really define it, elaborate, unpack what makes you, and try to package that in a way that is scalable. But you have to do what you need to do first to figure out what that is. And we're getting so close to figuring that out. I have so much more clarity in my business because of this, because I'm realizing that there are so many things that we don't need to overcomplicate, you guys. We don't need to be, automating every little thing we do if it only happens once a quarter. We just have to have a process in place. It doesn't have to be fully scalable if it doesn't need to be. So that's just your reminder for today. Okay, real talk. Our business can really mess with our emotions and our mindset. Am I right? One day we feel like we're unstoppable, like we could run through a wall, and then the next we want to burn it all down and start from scratch. Hey, I'm with you. A lot of this has to do with how we approach our money. And if you need a quick jolt of mindset habits for the next 5 days to help you reboot and recalibrate, check out my 5-day financial mindset refresh delivered straight to your email. Click the link in the show notes to sign up right now. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.